bushy blonde hairdo, surfing USA. You'll catch him surfing at
Thanks for coming. It's wonderful. We are here tonight because Danny Lemberger and Tammy Lemberger, his wife, are here visiting Los Angeles, and they're from the Dror Center in Haifa, Israel. They have 8 staff. It's really impressive. They were a mission in the church. They left the church, but the mission is still going, which I think is wonderful. Anyway, I just wanted to introduce Danny, and he's going to speak to you. Thank you very much for coming.
Tammy and I had spent so many years at Flag, and Tammy, the Flag, entered Auditor CS, 14, 15 years on solo notes. Like, we know what we're doing, we know the materials. So we had a few people come to Haifa, to us, to train us on delivery of the OT materials. Claudio Logli, a great guy, Sylvia Lawrence, Ronit Charney. I mean, I'm sure many of you know these people, some of these people. Who do you know? Ronit Charney. Okay, good. So Ronit's a very close, we got her into Scientology. Her husband Yossi and we are close friends from before Scientology. And he was at our wedding in '79. And then he got her into Scientology. And Sylvia Lawrence was like 25 years in the Sea Org at RTC, Class 9 Auditor Cramming Officer at Flag. She came to Haifa, Claudia Lugli came to Haifa, Ronit Charney came to train us on delivery of notes and all of the OT levels. In 2013, we spent 6 weeks in the US. Tammy spent time with many top tech terminals here, Greta Alexander, many other people. And so we delivered the whole bridge. I think Miscavige didn't like it. I get this idea that he didn't appreciate it. Yeah, he wouldn't flow us power. And he tried to get us shut down. So immediately when we were declared June 28th, 2012, they had everything ready to go. And they sent people to Haifa to meet with our staff and all of our public, showing them the SP declare on us, which they never gave us, of course. You see, they tell you you're declared, but they don't show you the SP declare, so you don't know why you declared. Because I meet Marty Rathbun. Now Marty Rathbun is a good buddy of Miscavige. Maybe if I go meet him again, they'll undeclare me. They went to all these people telling them terrible things about me, like we're using drugs again, of course. I'm a pedophile. Watch out, girls, or boys, I don't know. There's 2 types of pedophile. I'm a pedophile, we're back on drugs, Tammy and I. We do terrible things. And there's the SP declare that showed people which we never saw. But our friends who saw it told us what was in there. Then they did foolish things like writing letter to the city of Haifa, to the zoning, building department of the city of Haifa, saying what we were doing is illegal on our premises. So the city of Haifa came to inspect what we were doing, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. But more letters were sent, bogus letters were sent, until the city of Haifa said enough. They showed me the letters, and I recognized right away the letters were sent by the Church of Scientology. They did many more things. Suddenly there's somebody from income tax in Israel investigating, because I have some property in the US, am I paying taxes? Then Social Security in Israel is investigating, because do I pay benefits and Social Security taxes on my employees? All kinds of things going on. And we said enough of this, and we sued them. So I think it was when, Tammy, November, October?
Yeah, November 2014.
So it took time to put it together, to find the right lawyers, to have everything in place. Ronit Charney gave us invaluable testimony as to what happened in Flag. My photos at Flag were orange tag. Trey, you know the reference on orange tag? You're missing out on something. So an orange tag apparently is somebody like me, disaffected, who is talking not nice about Miscavige. And Tammy was orange tag because she was connected to somebody disaffected. But they still sold us a lot of intensives so that Tammy could complete OT7. around 2007, 2008. They told Tammy, buy more intensives, and they put on the EP check to complete OT7. And this cost a lot of money. But in the folder was an orange tag, meaning she would never complete OT7. So pure fraud. Pure fraud. This was in the lawsuit, and Ronnie Charney came to Israel in January 2017 to testify in court about this fraud. And many, many other things.
When did she come to testify?
Excuse me?
When did she come to testify? She came
January 2007. 17, I mean.
Oh,
No, half a year ago. Well,
Okay.
9 months ago.
Yeah.
So we sued them, we filed a lawsuit, and we said November 2014. This went on until February 2017, a few months ago. In court, the judge was shocked by what she heard. And she pleaded with the two sides, us and the church, to reach a compromise, to reach some...
You mentioned it was, we sued the Church of Scientology International and the Tel Aviv Org and another author guy. It was not only just the local
Yeah,
guys.
to get them... Yes.
Was this lawsuit in the U.S. or in
No.
Israel?
Okay, good. I'll clarify. So the lawsuit was filed Tel Aviv District Court, Israel, and we sued CSI, Church of Scientology International, who are here in Los Angeles. You know, they're your local guys. And of course, the church refused to come to Israel. They wanted immediate dismissal because they said we should sue them in the U.S. And the judge in Israel said, no, you guys are running this campaign against the Lembergers internationally and in Israel. It's being run from Los Angeles to hurt the Lembergers in Israel. So you're going to stand to court here in Israel. Okay, thank you for reminding me of that. So around these court hearings of January, February 2017, the judge wanted us to reach some kind of an agreement, a settlement. And she talks to the lawyers of the church, and she says, well, you know, what I'm hearing here is shocking, is terrible, I can't believe this, and can we reach an agreement? And the lawyers say no, because the executives, the decision makers of the Church of Scientology are not here. She said, what do you mean they're not here? I am I'm running a lawsuit here, I'm hearing all these, and the people who are concerned are not in the courtroom. She was shocked to find out there's only these lawyers and no decision makers. And she said, I want top executives of the Church of Scientology in my courtroom for the next hearing. And she gave me 3 weeks. So we go there 3 weeks later. I think now we're in February 2017. And we go in, and the judge opens the proceedings. And we have in the courtroom 2 lawyers, Lieberman and
Lieberman from New York and Welsh from...
Bill Walsh from Washington, D.C., and Lieberman, what's his first name? Ed Lieberman? Eric Lieberman. And I say to myself, I shouldn't say this here, I know, because you guys are goyim, but you know, I shouldn't say this, but Eric Lieberman, I mean, he's so Jewish, you know, a small guy, curly hair, big nose like me, and he's so Jewish, you know. And I said, what is a Jew boy doing with the church against me? I'm a Jew. I mean, you should be on my side. How come you're working with them against me? I couldn't figure it out. Excuse me? Money, yeah, money's a good cause. And he's a Jew, so money, you know. There we go. So Eric Lieberman, Bill Walsh from the U.S. are there. And 5 lawyers, the local law firm in Israel, one of the top law firms in Israel, they have like 5 lawyers in the courtroom, and a few of the guys from the Tel Aviv org, OSA guys, Tel Aviv, are there. And the judge says, well, are the executives here? And the lawyer says, church lawyer says, yeah, they're outside. Well then, why don't they come in? And in walk Mark Yeager, Monique Engling, and Jenny Linson. So you know these guys.
Yeah.
The guys who are very, very close to David Miscavige. And the judge addresses them and says, I heard a lot of things here in this courtroom. And she doesn't speak very good English, and she has a very strong Israeli accent. So she says, what I hear here in this court is terrible. It's really, really terrible. And she says, you guys have to reach a settlement, because if I write a decision and I have to put in writing everything I heard, the Church of Scientology in Israel is going to be shut down. It's going to be made illegal. Well, I hate to disappoint. Amy, I hate to disappoint. It didn't happen. That didn't happen because she insisted that we reach a compromise. And so she said, well, okay, who's the top official here? And it was Mark Yeager. So she addresses him. Okay, Mr. Yeager. So I want you guys to reach a deal with these guys, with the Lembergers. And, okay, what is the deal? She says that we, Tammy and I, who are suing, should take back, retract our lawsuit without any money, no compensation at all, in return for the church recognizing our activity and that we're doing what we're doing, and they commit themselves to no longer harass us, bother with us. My lawyer wanted to jump and say no way, because we wanted money. You know, we were suing for money, compensation. I said, don't say anything, let's see what they say. And Mark Yeager says, okay, I have to consult on this. And she says, okay. So they all walk out. Mark Yeager, all the church guys walk out. He comes back in. He says, Your Honor, I have been working with the founder of the Church of Scientology, Mr. Ron Hubbard, since the early 1970s. And she cuts him off. She says, I don't want to hear anything. I've heard so much. I don't care for all this. Give me an answer, yes or no. And he says, yes or no to what? And she says, well, I told you what the agreement was that I'm proposing. And he says, I'm sorry, I didn't get it. I swear, this is true. So she repeats again, they retract or cancel the lawsuit. You give them your obligation to not bother with them, not harass them, let them do their activity, and you shake hands, and each party goes to his own way, and that's it. So he says, okay, Your Honor, I have to consider this, and we need to consult. They go out, all of them go out, and there's a tall guy standing outside. I could tell he's American, like Eric Lieberman is Jewish. This guy's American, not Jewish. Tall guy, blonde, in a blue suit, and he's on his cell phone. This isn't a cell phone, I know. He's on his cell phone all the time, talking to somebody. And they all huddle around it, because when they go out, I go out, we go out. And they all huddle around and they're talking, and you can guess who they're talking to. Yeah. You know, if it's Monique Engling there, Jenny Lentz and Mark Yeager, and they have to consult with somebody, who are they talking to? Okay, they do this consult. They come back in, and the judge says, well, Mr. Yeager, do you have an answer? And he starts talking again. And she says, no, no, no. I've heard enough. What I hear is terrible. Don't make me write an agreement. I want an answer, yes or no. And he says, Your Honor, yes or no to what? I swear, this is true. And she says, well, I told you what the deal is. And he says, I'm sorry. So she repeats it a third time. And he says again, I'm sorry, Your Honor, we have to go out to consult. They go out to consult again. Same thing. I mean, they go out to consult again, third time. And now they come in again, and she says, well, Mr. Yeager, did you get it? Do you have an answer for me? And he says, yes, Your Honor. And she says, well, what is it? And he stands up stiff, broad stiff like this, and he says, Your Honor, I will be a heretic against my religion if I accept this agreement. And she says, oh no. Poor judge, she had to continue the trial. We all walk out. We took some shots outside. And that was the end of that court hearing, and more hearings or sessions were scheduled for later. But then I realized that the thing that they were trying to threaten us with is copyrights. Okay? And they mentioned something in court, and she, the judge, she said to them, how dare you bring it up now? 5 years, these people are doing what they're doing, and you haven't sued them. And they're practicing, and they're doing everything you say they're not allowed to do, but they're doing it, and you're not suing them. You haven't sued them so far, but they're still doing it. And now you're telling me in my courtroom, when they sue you for other good causes, that when we finish this lawsuit, you will sue them? Like, this has to be over. You cannot do this. And but this was the thing that they were hinting that was bothering them. So I said to my lawyer, okay, let's offer them a settlement. Number one, I want money, because the judge wanted to do an agreement without money. So I do want money, but I am willing to give them some kind of a clause in a settlement agreement and a compromise agreement that we make a commitment that we will not violate the Israeli laws, copyright laws. We will not violate Israeli copyright laws as far as they, the Church of Scientology, have rights in Israel. Now all I'm saying is that I will follow the law, which is obvious. Of course I follow the law. So I'm not saying anything, but we had to put some kind of wording that will make him feel good. And I told my lawyer, look, I want money to cover my expenses, some compensation, but I trust you, my lawyer, to figure out with the church lawyer what would be a fair amount of money. He calls me up the next day and he says, I spoke to the church lawyer. I demanded $120,000. Not a lot of money, but we thought, well, okay, this is what he's asking for, so I agreed to it. 2 days later, the church lawyer tells my lawyer, okay, for the $120,000. So we knew we made a mistake, because if it was so easy, and they immediately agreed to the 120, I could have demanded 180 or 250, but okay, you make these mistakes in negotiations, so we say 120,000. The church agreed right away to 120,000, and the lawyers started exchanging drafts of the agreement. And when my lawyer gets the draft agreement from the church lawyer, the money, the $120,000, is not on there. So he asks him, what about the money? And the church lawyer says, not a problem, don't worry about it. It'll be in a separate letter. You see? Because they want to show their people they have an agreement with us that doesn't have any money in it. And the money is covered in a separate letter. So, okay, so they finished drafting this settlement agreement, and then my lawyer tells the church lawyer, okay, before I sign, I need to get that letter about the $120,000. And the church lawyer says, not a problem, I'm sending you a letter. My lawyer receives the letter and immediately forwards it to me, right? Because Tammy and I have to go over everything and authorize it and approve it, that we agree. It's our lawsuit, and our lawyer follows our instructions. He sends me the letter, so it's from the church lawyer in Israel to my lawyer, and he forwards it to me. And on the top it says in big, bold letters, confidential, top secret, only to the eyes of lawyer Eyal Wittenberg. Eyal Wittenberg is my lawyer. Only to the eyes of lawyer so-and-so. And strange, and then I read clause number 5, I think it was. Clause number 5 on this letter says, Danny and Tammy Lemberger must not know about this. And it's all the rest is fine. All the rest is fine. All the rest is fine. It says that the lawsuit will be settled and there's an agreement. And when the agreement is signed by the lawyer, they will pay him $120,000. Everything is fine. Everything is clear. But the Lembergers must not know about this. So he says, I read it. What do I think? I think it's a mistake. Somebody wrote a line, doesn't make any sense. I call my lawyer and say, Eyal, did you see this clause number 5? What does it mean? He said, oh, it's a mistake. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It must be a mistake. And he says, I'll call the church lawyer, Nir Kimchi. I will call Nir and I will tell him to take it out. I say, good. He calls me back an hour later, my lawyer, and from his tone of voice on the phone, I can see that he was run over by a truck. I say, Eyal, what's going on? And he says, Danny, I've been practicing law for 35 years. I've never in my life ever seen something like this. I said, what are you talking about? He said, it's not a mistake. They meant it. Their client, the client of the church law, the client of was being Mr. Miscavige, has instructed them not to give a penny to the Lembergers. So this money, the church lawyer told my lawyer, and he told me, this money, yeah, somebody said bribe? Good.
Yeah, try to bribe your lawyer.
Yeah, bribing my lawyer.
Get you to sign an agreement that where you get nothing.
Exactly.
They get everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the church lawyer tells my lawyer, my client doesn't know that you are giving the money to the Lembergers. My client authorized me to give you the money to cover expenses, but you said the word bribe. I didn't say the word bribe, you said the word bribe. And it's money for the lawyer, for my lawyer, from the church. And the church lawyer in Jerusalem, and this is a sensitive point which is not allowed to be recorded, is the lawyer of the church. He lied to Miscavige because he told Miscavige the Lembergers are not getting any money. So he had to actually lie to his client to close the deal. And he reported to Miscavige, this money is bribe money to the Lembergers lawyers, because all WOG lawyers are criminals and indecent people, and you can bribe them. And of course our lawyer gave us the money because that was our deal, that was our agreement. So that's how this ended. So thank you, Mr. Miscavige. If you're watching this, we got the full $120,000, and we're putting your money to good use, which is this.
But can he get that back since they violated the FAS?
No, they gave the money to my lawyer, and all it says is that I must not know about it.
But now that
I do know about it.
you do know about it,
And they're going to know that I know.
could sue the lawyer to get back the 120.
Well, they can have fun. They can do whatever. But they won't, because they will not want this thing going public. I mean, they would be pretty upset to find out that I know about it, that I got the money. My lawyer asked me, as a friendly gesture, to tear up that letter, because I got the letter, supposedly by mistake. And I said, well, okay, let me think about it. But I have the letter, we have it, so that's the way that ended. But what did happen at the same day at court, by the way, prior to the Mark Yeager show, was that the church lawyer cross-examining me pulls out a piece of paper. And he says to me, over the past 2 weeks, I have been communicating with a Mr. Marty Rathman. Do you know Mr. Rathman? And I say, yeah. And he says, well, in 2013, you wrote a letter to Rathman. And you wrote something about Mr. David Miscavige. And Mr. Rathman forwarded to me, gave me your letter to him. Okay, this was Antonio Ortiga's site, so maybe you saw this. And he pulls out a sheet of paper, which, yes, it's my letter, my email to Rathman from 2013, which now, 4 years later, he gives the church lawyer to prove that it wasn't them who started it, I started it. They try to make the point that before Miscavige attacked me, I was attacking him, so blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Okay. But for me, the lawsuit was actually ending cycle on our saga, the relationship, the fight with the Church of Scientology.
So we're really happy, and I think it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, hit 3 cheers for Danny and his mission.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks. Bye.
Here's my number.
Oh.